He hadn't wanted to come here, not after the fire hose. He was scared to come here. He was scared that he had taken the pass key again, disobeying his father. He had wanted to come here. Curiosity killed the cat. Satisfaction brought him back. Was like a constant fish hook in his brain. A kind of nagging siren song that would not be appeased. And hadn't Mr. Halloran said, "I don't think there's anything here that can hurt you. You promised. Promises were made to be broken." He jumped at that. It was as if the thought had come from outside, insectile buzzing, softly cajoling. Promises were made to be broken, my dear Red Row. To be broken, splintered, shattered, hammered.
So what you think about The Shining Man? Like,
I love this book. I thought it was great. Love the internal dialogue in this book. He does such an amazing job of portraying children.
He does.
In all of his books. Themes that he kind of throws in there that are relatable.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's marriage, it's drinking, it's trying to change, but maybe you're struggling to get through that change.
Yeah.
Trying to get to the other side. Simple story that had a lot of great nuggets in it.
His point of view with children dealing with adult themes.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing like a 5-year-old try to understand divorce or understand abuse or understand, addiction, or drinking, problems, drinking addiction. Because he calls his dad when he drinks the bad thing.
Right.
Like, oh, daddy's going to do the bad thing.
Right.
It's like
the power of influence. Like he touches on like the family tree, and then you have him doing that to his family, to Jack doing that to his family, to Danny. Then you have Danny idolizing his father and looking up to him, and even though he's a drunk, even though he still just loves his father so much. And then if you want to jump into Dr. Sleep, which is the next book,
it even travels through that, but we're not gonna get that far in there. Even just the villain, like the villain being the Overlook Hotel. It's not your typical, mad scientist like villain. Like it's a thing that kind of enhances the traits that are already within us. Like the bad things.
And that's what he does. Think about all his great books. Like let's think about it. Pet Sematary. Dr. Sleep. As many of his books where all of the outsider, all of the characters are their worst traits come out of them because of this being that kind of brings the ugliness out of people. Like
it and outsider, the villains do horrible things. The hotel forces people to do horrible things, but those things aren't the worst traits of the villains. The worst traits of the villains are to bring out the worst traits of us. We see the worst of humanity and the worst of people through the villain's influence. And so the way he puts that in this book is really great. And then the last cherry on top for me was to find out that like these are real things that he dealt with. That he dealt with alcoholism, and so you can see that again. This is something that he put in a book for a fictional character, but it just had so much realism behind it because this is some person who's dealt with that, and you can feel that. Like, we can tell this is something. These demons that Jack was fighting were some demons that you fought.
It's just so creepy, man. The way he writes it, it's just easy to follow, but that's not the focus of the story. Like the main point of the story that you have to get to are all the themes and the things that impact this family and this hotel and what brings out these deep, dark traits of these people. It's great. It's great. If you haven't read it, go read it because we read it like 2 months ago. We watched the movie. But we went back and read the book, and it was
fantastic.
So 5 out of 5 from QandTG. Definitely recommend it. It is a definite reread. I will definitely down the road pick this thing back up and read it and just enjoy every moment of it. So we highly recommend it. Young Danny has the ability to kind of like read minds and see into the future, and all of this is because of his imaginary friend Tony. Like if y'all seen the movie, they're talking to himself like that. That's Tony.
So what your daddy gonna do? Go to that hotel.
Jack is back at the hotel by himself, going through his duties, having like this internal dialogue, talking to himself, and we get to a part where he's out by the hedge animals, and I think the lion like growls at him. So one of the hedge animals is like a lion and some other things.
Like
the
a
lion,
dog, a rabbit.
yeah. So the lion growls at him, and he's like, 2:30, baby, won't you meet me by the bean? Too early, baby, later, you can show me things. Whatever it is. What the hell is that noise? I'm tripping. He's like, what is that? He's like, I'm tripping, yo. Like, I don't know what is
then,
going
like, he
on.
turns his
So
back.
He turns his back,
like,
he walks, and he turns around. He's like, is that shit
closer?
closer?
Yeah,
like,
right.
What's going on? So he basically he shrugs it off, goes inside the hotel. He's like, man, I'm tripping, bro. And Jack's kind of like this. He's like has this internal battle where he knows something is up, and then the other side of him is like, man, there ain't nothing wrong. Yeah, just the denial, right?
So Danny goes into room 217.
Halloran told him not to do it.
Told him not to do it.
Told him not to do it. He promised.
You tell a kid not to touch the iron. You don't touch the iron
while it's hot.
While it's hot. So, Danny's, he's skipping, down the hallway, going past room 217, back and forth into 217. So finally, he just kind of finds himself with the keys to room 17. So he goes in there, he's looking around. It's like, this is probably a room basically like any other room, right? He's scared, goes into the bathroom, like just a bathroom. There's 100 bathrooms.
Ain't nothing scary about this bathroom.
I mean, the shade is pulled up, like why the shade pulled up on the tub? Yeah. So why is it like that? I mean, look like somebody might be in there. Like, I'm just seeing things. I'm kind of curious. Let me pull it back. Pulls the little curtain back.
There's a naked old hag in there.
Naked old hag in there, just laying.
Dead as hell.
Dead as hell. Or so he thinks. So he looks, and then, man, eyes open. She looking at my man, smiling, and he like, what? So Danny's like, oh, and so he, turns, tries to get out there, bang, 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 can't open the door, bang, 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 can't open the door. The whole time, hag is like, getting up, stretching, shaking the doobies off, and walking out there wet. All the way until she, wrapped them hands around my boy Danny, little Danny.
Little Danny's throat.
So
you know how the hedge animals were like playing coy with Jack, right?
Yep.
Well, when they saw Danny, they was with this shit. So they were basically they started chasing my man.
Yep.
And so Danny's running, and he's a little kid, and the snow's probably like up to his chest. So he's he's trying to get through the snow, and he finally makes it back to the doors, and he's like screaming bloody murder, and they're about to get him. Like these hedge, he turns back, he looks like these hedge animals, like these bush lions, or like right here.
I think he has like a scratch on, like a
so
cut.
He makes it to the door, and then. He gets cut, and he thinks his whole leg got chopped off. Right. But it's really just, it looks like as if he was playing in the bushes and he got got cut.